Yeah, right. Is the frequency in use? Nothing heard. This is K4PEW, net control for the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net. Is there any emergency or priority traffic? I thought not. If there's any emergencies, please call 911 first. That's 911 on your phone. Can't use that, of course, 911 if you're using like Skype, but you can use it on your cell phone. Unless Skype is on, never mind. If you know how to use a cell phone, you know how to call 911. Anyway, anytime for emergency traffic, or we can help you if you don't have that feature. For information on this net, you can see us on our website, 146415.net. That's 146415.net. And or you can go to our Yahoo group page, which is MJ_SS. That's Mike Juliet _Sierra Sierra. Or you can go to our YouTube site right now. Just go to YouTube in the search block, put in K4PEW, my call, K4PEW, or Brain Trust's channel, which is BRAINTRUSTS. It's one word. Ooh, this is our net number, episode 497. We thank Kevin for doing last Saturday's net. I was out of town. But anyway, we normally meet at 8 p.m. every Wednesday and Saturday night. Of course, it's on 146.415 FM Simplex. Purpose of that is supporting train ham radio operators, and as well as have a lot of fun doing it, hopefully. And we've had a great deal of success in that regard. We invite everyone to use the net to announce amateur radio events and activities in support of the local community, and of course, the hams that are in this community. Anybody have any announcements? All right. Big announcement is we're only 24 days away from the Greater Nashville and Middle Tennessee Ham Quest, which of course is at the Lebanon Fairgrounds. You can look them up on the web. You can just really look up Nashville or Tennessee Ham Quest. It's HAMQUEST, but the website is MIDTN hamquest.com. You'll see it. MIDTN HAMQUEST.com. Also, on August 17th, we got the Alabama State Convention in Huntsville, which is a big ham fest, as you know. That's a little over a month away. And then, of course, the Cedars of Lebanon Ham Fest, which is on the 24th of August. It's also, way more than a month away. It's about 6 weeks away. All right. Any other questions about those? And, of course, tomorrow night, we have I forgot about that. Tomorrow night, we've got the, what do you call it? The Nashville, not the Nashville clubs, it's the Wilson clubs with the Wilson County Amateur Radio Clubs net at 8 p.m. on Thursday at 147.105 plus offset in a 156.7 PL, or tone as it's more commonly called these days. Does anybody have any questions or additions or need further information? All right, apparently everybody's sandbagging. Well, then we'll just start taking check-ins from the east. I don't think I had any more announcements. I want to thank Kevin again for doing the net this past Saturday. Just as a point of interest, I drove up to Long Island, and I went to, we buried my mother-in-law, and we also had some fun with our friends, my wife's friends, and friends I know. And I'm not from Long Island, but I've known a couple of people up there. But anyway, it was quite a hectic weekend. And plus, we ended up in a mess on going through Manhattan, which was crazy all by itself. Won't do that again, ever. All right, let's take taking check-ins from the east of Mount Juliet Road. Please come in.
Well, they're not jumping out of the box. KG4, I say.
Very good. I wonder if my antenna blew down. How you doing, Kevin?
Oh, doing pretty good, Paul. Just hanging out. I'm doing my thing over here. Been sitting over here listening to some podcasts a little bit ago, and I still got one running in the background. I don't know why I didn't turn it off. But yeah, there ain't too much going on. I thought we was going to get us a little bit of weather today. I didn't see, I didn't know there was any storms coming or anything. I guess there was one of the scattered showers. That didn't do too much. It just rained over here. Did you get any damage over there?
Nah, just rain. I was going to go out and mow the lawn, and it saved me from that trouble.
All right, well, that's cool. That's good. All right, well, there ain't nothing going on over here.
righty, that was Kevin. With nothing going on and looking forward to bad weather. Kilo Golf 4 Mike India Zulu, and he's in just a little bit west of downtown Lebanon. Who else we have east of Mount Juliet Road? All righty, Earl, got you in there. A little trouble on the bouncing signals around, but I can hear you.
Yeah, well, I guess propagation of weather is, doing its thing up there. Mother Nature playing ping pong or soccer or something there. You never know what she'd be doing.
Yeah, well, your signal's been better. I can hear you. It's just a little scratchy. In fact, when I was adjusting the squelch before I started the net, when I opened up the squelch all the way, I just heard so many odd. You know how you normally just hear that constant tone of squelch? So this was all just crackly and just a mess.
Oh, wow. Is that just on the band itself, or is that me making that noise?
No, I meant just on this frequency. When I opened up the squelch, it was just like it was not bouncing around like you don't normally hear it. Normally, just well, this was all over the place.
Oh, okay. Well, I take it everything went safe on your journeys there and return.
Well, yeah, almost 2,000 miles of driving between Thursday and Monday. So yeah, it was a pretty hectic weekend, not including the crazy driving that goes on in Metro New York City. It's just, if you think Nashville's bad, please don't go to Manhattan.
Okay. Well, I'll take your word for it, and I have no intentions of going there myself. But anyway, I guess the old bad weather's done passed through. I've got some thunder and lightning the last couple of days and whatnot, but it decided to do all three today: thunder, lightning, and rain came down for about 10 minutes. But other than that, it's all been blue skies and smooth sailing. But anyway, I'll let it go with that. Good to hear you back there, Paul. And we'll keep you later. Have a good Independence Day around the net. 7-3 or DEC on the side.
Yeah, very good, Earl. Yep. Here you go, full copy, just a lot of scratchy stuff going on in there. Your signal just barely bouncing the meter off the bottom, but again, good signal. I got good audio on you, considering the noise in there. That was Kilo Echo 4 Delta Echo Zulu Earl over in Noreen, just east of Cedars of Lebanon. Who else we got east? Surprised I heard James in there. He must be out of town. He normally doesn't miss nets or a couple in a row. I don't know if he was here last week or last Saturday or not. Well, to anybody else east of Mount Juliet Road, we'll come back to this. All right, might be people out of town until we'll move up to the north. At north of Mount Juliet, please come in.
Kilo Echo 4, Romeo Victor, Quebec, on mobile.
Ah, very good. Got you in there, Brent. Where are you mobile?
I'm over here at St. Stephen.
Aha. You doing security over there too?
No, I was just coming back from the meeting up at Windman. I just figured I'd pull up here and use my HT for the night.
Yeah, well, that's a good spot to do it on. You're on high ground over at St. Stephen.
Yeah, I figured I'd get a pretty good reading over here.
No, you're doing great. I mean, it's not a big signal, but I mean, considering you got an HT, you're doing great.
Sounds like a winner. You doing good?
Oh, yeah. Well, listen, it took me all of yesterday and part of today to recover from that big trip to New York City, man. It'll kill you. It's like my version of hell is going to New York City.
Yeah, that's sort of like Florida. A couple days of it, you had already won for another year.
Well, this is I broke a promise I made. Well, I never did drive in Manhattan ever in my life, and I'd been there as a kid, and I went a couple of times over the years to New York City, and I said, man, I'm never going to drive in New York City ever. And what do? I drive in New York City.
Yeah, that's an experience, isn't it?
I don't advise it for anybody. I don't care. Listen, if you value your wife if she's in the car, and if you value your car, if you value your own sanity, do not drive in Manhattan.
I took an 18-wheeler across the George Washington there, and I think it cost me someplace about $96 because they tax you on every wheel.
Yeah, I know. It cost I forget now. The Lincoln Tunnel, I think was either $10 or $15 when we went through that on Friday. And it was funny because when I left, I don't remember what the other bridge cost. We left via Staten Island over the Verrazano Narrows Bridge. And then we got on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and they stuck me with a $1 toll. I have no idea why it was only $1.
He must have the bargain of the day.
I have no idea. It just shocked me that it was something was so low price. Who charges $1 toll?
Surprising is if it's in Pennsylvania, I am shocked on that one.
I know, it amazed me. It really amazed me. That was after we crossed through New Jersey, and it was just funny. Anyway, no, it was a really the man. Well, I'll quickly said for those who haven't heard the story, made the wrong turn, missed the turn, got into as soon as then I go, where the heck am I? I'm on 42nd Street, which is Broadway in New York City. It was jam packed, and I mean, I don't care what movie you see. The sidewalks were teeming with losers, and the roads were teeming. When I say roads, the streets teeming with cars. No matter what I did, you were stuck either behind a double parked truck or fighting for a lane because everybody's changing lanes without notice, or you're stuck in the intersection on a red light. And I was just waiting for the cops to arrest me.
Yeah, that's not the problem. Well, I'm going to go back down the hill, and I will try to catch up with you next week.
All right, very good. That was Brent Kilo Echo 4 Romeo Victor Quebec. He's mobile up there by Dunkin' Donuts and St. Stephen's Church up there on Lebanon Road. Very good for handheld. You're doing great. Who else we got north of Mount Juliet?
Whiskey Echo 4 Echo.
Hey, how you doing there, Danny?
Not too bad, Paul. How's it going over there?
I don't know. Everybody's voice sounds rough tonight. Their signals, their audios are a little rough. Has to be the atmosphere.
Well, my voice is a little rough. I'm a little croaky, so I'm sure that's not helping. So I can't speak for everybody else, but my voice is a little rough over here.
Yeah, that's funny. I don't sound the least bit rough, do I?
No, not to me.
Okay. No, I don't know. It's just almost maybe my speaker's blowing here or something. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like the speaker is rattling,
Yeah, I hear you. No, you don't sound any worse than usual.
I appreciate that negative comment.
Only good things, Paul. Only good things.
No. So anything, you working out of town this week? No, it's a weekend. You don't have anything going on, do you?
Oh yeah, fly to Chicago tomorrow. I got a test event on Friday at Soldier Field. We're testing a new technology I really can't talk about, but that's what we're doing, and I'll be back Saturday morning. I'm taking an early flight back, so yeah, just enough to just sort of throw a monkey wrench in the works for the weekend.
The first and last time I was in Soldier Field was in 1968.
Yeah, my guess is it probably hasn't changed.
I doubt it has. I can't imagine what they'd upgrade. That's an old stadium. Yeah, I was there for whatever reason. They let us go to the Army Navy game when I was in basic training, and they took us all on a bus over to the stadium in Chicago.
Yeah, it's old and it's in an absolutely miserable location. You can't get there from anywhere. I don't know how anybody does that. I'm staying out by the airport, and I'm going to go in there long enough to finish this out, and then I'm going to beat feet.
Yeah, I don't remember much. They took us to the Army Navy game, and all we wanted to do was talk to girls.
Yeah, exactly. Chicago's not my favorite town. There's a lot of cool things about it, but man, I hate moving around in it.
Yeah, same deal. I wouldn't drive. I have driven in Chicago, but I don't want to do it again. It's crazy to do that in those big cities. Well, very good, Danny. Good to have you in there. I hope your travels go well up to Chi-Town. If you can, doesn't matter. I don't think you can even take in a registered weapon. So I think that's out of the question. That's Whiskey Echo 4 Echo Danny in Hendersonville. Can you take I don't think Illinois reciprocates, do they?
I couldn't begin to tell you. I have no idea. But no, they're not particularly firearm friendly. At least legal ones. Their guns are everywhere. They're shooting people left and right, but they can't handle it legally.
I'll bet you outside of Midway Airport, I bet you can buy a gun right on the street.
Oh yeah, good God. I have no doubt about that. Probably to the Rosemont, I'm going to O'Hare, which is actually a Destin airport, but oh well. I guess I'll get over it. It'll be the second time in
wow. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of airtime, man. No, that's no good. All right, very good. I wish you luck on the trip. And again, Danny, Whiskey Echo 4 Echo going out to Chicago this week. He's up in Henderson though at the moment. All right, appreciate it. Anybody else north? Please come in.
KU4XQ.
Hey, how are you this evening?
Hello, Paul, and everybody on it. This is Tim over here in Hendersonville. Doing all right. Is this thing even working, man? It's been so long since I've turned this thing on. I can't believe the batteries in the microphone are even working.
It is working. Why was it the battery? You on an HT?
No, it's a MFJ microphone, but it's powered in some way or another. I don't know. But I haven't been out here in the shack in a while because it's been too hot.
Oh, I got you. How come I wrote your name, your name, your call down wrong, Tim? It's K what for HQ?
Kilo Uniform 4 X-Ray Quebec, world's ugliest call.
Well, I just so infrequently see a U. I think I blanked it out of my mind.
Yeah, it's you got a U, a X, and a Q in there. That's just ugly, man.
Well, it doesn't really matter. It's just you probably hadn't heard my call I had for a couple three. I don't know how many years I had. It was NA4ZI, which is it looks like for Nazi. It had nothing to do with Nazism. It had to do with the ship I served on. And I used to get the craziest call. Some people, one guy argued with me and then he blasted me on QRZ forums. And it's just 4 letters and a number, dude.
Oh, yeah, that's a good call. It rolls out actually pretty good. I mean, my original call was KF4OAK, which was pretty cool. I should have kept it. But when I got my advanced call, I was like, ooh, that's cool. I want to keep that. But life goes on. I got what I asked for.
Oh, I know. Well, actually, my wife didn't like the call either, so I changed it. I kind of liked it myself. Everybody thought I was a Nazi, which isn't exactly the best thing in the world to be called. But it's misinformation otherwise. So are you doing all right though? I mean, it's been too hot. I haven't heard from you in a while.
Yeah, man. I've just been working. This morning, I've been on vacation, so I got up this morning. I turned the air conditioner on out here, and it's been on all day, so it's not too bad out here now. So I may get on the HF fans here in a little bit and do some aggravating. But yeah, man, you've been doing all right.
Yeah, I've been doing good, really. I mean, well, if you hadn't, well, I don't know if you saw it. I don't remember if I put it on the thing or not. We were taking care of my mother and my mother-in-law here in the house for almost 3 years, and then they both passed away the same month in May, a week, 8 days apart. So it was, well, I'm not saying it was catastrophic. It's just it's life-changing to lose 2 mothers in 1 month.
Oh yeah, man, that's rough. My condolences. Yeah, that bite's a big one. And I know those days are coming for me. I'm lucky to have both my parents. All my grandparents are gone, but I'm lucky to have both my parents, and I don't see them enough as I should. And I'm on vacation. I should ride out. It's Smyrna. Come on.
I hear you. Now, don't hesitate to take time with your mother and dad. I mean, I had her every day for 2.5 years here because I was on a short leash for a long time, and then of course she went downhill quickly in the last 10 days or so. But I just feel good that we took care of her. I mean, obviously our demise is inevitable, and she had 91 plus a few months, years of good life. So I hope I can make it to 91. I don't think I will, but I'll look forward to something like that. Maybe 81, which is 11 years away.
Oh man, I definitely hear you. I felt guilty this morning and jumped on my bike and rode for maybe 30 minutes, and I got home. I was like, man, I'm Superman. I rode my bike this morning, but that's the first time this year, so it is what it is. But yeah, if I make it to to 60, I'll be good. 73's brother. Appreciate what you do, and have a good 4th, and we'll talk to you in a little bit. KU4XQ.
Hey, what kind of bike you ride?
It's a Diamondback.
Diamondback. I'm not a biker guy, but I like to know what people are riding. I just had a friend of my wife's. Well, it's our friend, I guess. She just bought for a cheap price, used but in perfect condition. I mean, perfect. What do you call it? Excuse me, a Honda Fury.
A Honda Fury. Never heard of it.
Look.
Well, this is like a comfort bike. This is an old man bike. I'm old. It's not a road bike or anything. It's designed for fat people.
You dropped out on me.
Sorry, yeah, it's a comfort bike.
I think the battery's running out on your mic.
Yeah, probably is. I have to get some new ones.
All right. Well, very good. I'll have to look up the Honda Fury. Look up the Fury, and you'll get a kick out of it. It's a beautiful bike. Anyway, that was Tim, Kilo Uniform 4, Hotel Quebec, and he is in, I believe it's Hendersonville, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, very good. My memory hadn't gone completely blank. All right, very good, Tim. Good to have you in there. Who else we got north of Mount Juliet? I'm hearing somebody transmit, but I couldn't hear a word. Anybody got any copy on that signal?
He said W4DVD.
Oh, wow, you're coming in really bad there, Brian. That must be Brian. W4 Delta Bravo Victor, is that you? No, I'm not hearing him at all. He's got an indoor antenna in the attic, and it normally does fairly well, but today the conditions are such that it isn't working out. Apparently, he can hear me because he heard me calling out. So, yeah, I got you in there, Brian. I'll put you down as a self-contained. Well, it's actually a relay, but obviously that's okay too. I mean, the conditions are really poor. Like I said, I'm hearing some really bad signals today. I can still copy, except for Brian. All right. Anyway, that was Brian with a noisy signal, at least to me. Whiskey 4 Delta Bravo Victor. He's up in northwest Wilson County. Who else north? Please come on.
WB0 NOL.
Hold on. Boy, I had to sneeze. Sorry about that. Hey, Mark. Hold on. I was writing down your call there. Yeah, were you able to hear Brian at all?
Oh yeah, Brian was full quieting over here. Thank the meter.
Yeah, he just a terrible signal coming to me. And that's funny how the conditions can change so different just between two locations.
I think he's on a portable, so he's not running much power and an attic antenna. But anyway, I heard you, Brian.
Yeah, very good. I'm glad. Well, I think everybody was hearing him up on that end, except for me down here. That's what I was going to tell you. So how you doing, Mark? You all settled in with your construction issues?
Yep. We actually got the last little piece of it completed today. They came and put a door on the shower for us, so I think we're actually all done. Maybe hanging a picture or so and go on to the next thing.
No more construction for a while, though, I bet.
No. A long while. Maybe never.
Yeah, no, I got you. It's always a pain. Especially a pain when I do it because it takes me a lot longer.
Yeah, well, about 20 years ago, I bought this house and had a bonus. I took on the project of building out the bonus. And so I never do it again. And I didn't. I'm too old for that stuff.
Yeah, you ought to hear it actually. It's funny. Your signal's coming in great, and then all of a sudden the signal's okay, but there's a static right on top of it. It's just the oddest thing because your signal's normally clear as a bell.
Well, I don't know. Everything looks normal over here. You may just have something going on over there.
No, I agree. It is something odd because I can see it just happened right there again in the middle of your sentence. So, all right, let me move on here. That was Mark. He's in Hermitage. That's Whiskey Bravo 4, November Oscar. Normally great signal and a great signal tonight, except for this crazy signaling I'm getting here. Maybe I need to go check and see if a squirrel ate my cable again. Not again, but see if he did eat that cable. Who else we got? North, please come down. Okay, let's try that again. Didn't hear it. I got nothing. Let's go that. Whoever that was, try again, please. Ah, very good. K4WKU. That's Steve. I'm amazed you're getting through because we're having some scratchy conditions here.
Yeah, I got a decent copy of it.
Ah, very good. I'm glad you do. Maybe it's my radio. I don't know. I hope not. Maybe I'll try another radio in a next net to see if it makes any difference. So you doing all right up there, Steve? No copy. So the net went well, I take it, and I'm glad it did. Your net up there, your Simplex net. Oh, just saying, your net did go well there. That 11 or 12 check-ins you had the other night.
Yeah, I think okay.
Oh, I would be too. It means you got a good group up there. That's what that means. I didn't copy all of that. You said there was some other problems. You said.
No, there's several regulars that were not in the net.
Oh, okay, great. That just means that's true here too. I mean, everybody has a different schedule and they can't make all the nets. So even when we get a 25 or 27, which is a great number, there's still I'll look and I'll go, wait a minute, there's still 6 or 7 people that are whatever reason didn't come to the net. So it's just kind of fascinating how you have to have a lot of people participating to keep the numbers up because there's always going to be some percentage not there.
Yeah, I find it very interesting that I was checking for back on third floor.
Yeah, I agree. Well, let me go. Steve, your signals are bouncing up and down there a little bit, so better move on. That's Kilo 4, Whiskey Kilo Uniform, and that's Steve up in Bowling Green. Signal's a little choppy, but I did catch 90% of what he said. Who else we got north? Please come down. Over to the west then, west of Mount Juliet.
KG4CXE.
One more time, please.
KG4CXE.
CXE. I think that's Chris, isn't it?
Yep, talked to you earlier, Paul.
Yeah, and it is K. Is it KG4? Did I get that right?
Yep, Kilo Golf 4, Charlie X-Ray Echo.
Yeah, no, I was just pretty sure it was. I wasn't positive. So how you get your antenna situated any better?
Not really, but you know, the power brick for the laptop at least took some of the noise out of the signal, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we create our own messes with all our electronic gear.
Yeah, we do. So I was thinking about what you were saying about driving in New York. I did a lot of walking when I was there earlier this year and didn't do any driving at all. We took a couple of Ubers, and lifts and stuff like that. But yeah, I watched some of the people there, and they were literally ready to run over each other. It was a wild thing. I would have not wanted to be the driver for sure.
No, and what was fascinating is that the people, generally the pedestrians, about half of them tried to stay out of the other way and the other half didn't. And then when I say pedestrians, there was a couple of bicyclists that were weaving around in traffic. I was sure they were going to die, but they didn't.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the par for the course. They're serious about the messaging thing, and they're delivering messages. Yeah, they're going at speeds that I would assume I would probably get killed on the first day trying to do that in that type of traffic because the people that are doing the commercial transportation, they're pretty ready to drive defensively. And if you're not ready for that type of scenario, it was just like, not only was it eye-opening about wall-to-wall buildings for as far as the eye could see, and then the kind of disconnect of the people at the same time because they're so used to the crowd. I would just get distracted by too much going on. I'm from here, so.
Oh no, I agree. It's going to a place like New York City, and particularly Manhattan. It's an eye opener because it's such a radical change from everywhere else, including Chicago. I haven't been to Los Angeles, or I've been to Miami and Atlanta and some of the other big cities on the East Coast, Boston. But New York City is the apex of, it's like if it isn't hell, it's the next best thing to it.
That's wild. I mean, there were some cool people there that we met, and then there was some rude ones, and then there was those that had their blinders on. They were just doing their thing and kind of zone out all the rest. But
you can definitely get caught up in the energy of it. I found myself, being drawn into the. You didn't want to stay in the hotel room. Everything was going out there, and you had to kind of slip into it. It just kind of takes you. But it was well worth the experience. But yep, that's all I've got for you tonight. 73s to you guys, and happy 4th of July.
Yeah, very good, Chris. That was Kilo Golf 4, Charlie, X-Ray Echo. He's over in Donaldson. Good signal for a really bad location on a window antenna. So he does good though to me. Anyway, who else we got? Wes, please come in. Hey, Jeff, how are you doing tonight?
I was getting ready to go to bed here shortly, working different hours tomorrow. Don't have to get up so early, but still working.
Different, and what does it run late tomorrow?
No, I just I don't have to be there so early, but I'll be back to the regular business as usual Friday. It's on Sunday schedule tomorrow, so it's just a little bit different hours. I don't have to be there so early.
Oh, I got you. There's no business travelers on the 4th of July, so obviously you wouldn't have to be there early.
Well, it's just very limited in what we do. We got limited service, so it's just not a whole lot going on.
I was actually talking about buses. Everybody probably knows you run a bus, but I was actually amazed at watching the big buses, the commercial or whatever you call them, the big tour buses, driving in on the Lincoln Tunnel to go into Manhattan, which is not an easy place to drive. And they're driving a bus. I'm not driving a bus. They must just drive them crazy.
Yeah, it's all different. I've never been to New York, and what they do things totally different up there than what we do here. But it's all pretty much the same principle, I guess. But just different protocols, I guess.
Well, I'm going to say it again. If you go to New York City, do not drive. I don't care who you are. It's not a good idea. Anyway, Jeff, it was good to hear from you. I'm glad you're doing okay. That's Whiskey Yankee 4 Golf, and he's in Madison. Good to have you in there, Jeff. Now you can go to bed. He's got to work tomorrow. Who else we got? West, please come in.
KN4TJF.
Hey, KN4TJF. I get a good signal for a crappy weather night.
Good, man. Good to hear. Welcome back. Glad you made it.
Yeah, it's funny. Here we go with this. You got. I can read your audio just fine, but normally you have more of a signal strength to me. But tonight it's almost sitting on the bottom, but I can still hear your audio. Yeah, I'm glad I'm back too, man, because it's just that the city and the surrounding areas never stop, man. The traffic is horrendous.
Yeah, I've never been there. I've heard Heather, my wife, she's been there. I don't even care to go. It'd be good to see it from a helicopter.
Well, I would actually recommend it, if only to get a feel for what it makes you think twice. You say, how the hell did the North win the Civil War?
I get that.
No, man, it's really is. And you're only seeing when you're on the surface streets, you're only seeing the top traffic. You're not seeing all the subways and trains that go underneath. It's like, what the heck? And the tunnels and the it's a world of craziness, really, compared to it. I mean, this is like, I feel like Mayberry here in Nashville and Mount Juliet compared to that crazy place.
I'm sure you do.
Anyway, yeah, I'm glad to be back. Good to have you in there, Rick. Rick is out in Ashland City with a decent signal, and he's really worked hard to get his shack and his antenna in good shape, and he's done a good job of it because Ashland's a little bit out there. That's Kilo November 4 Tango Juliet Foxtrot, and that's Rick in Ashland City. Who else? West, please come on.
KM4YRF coming to you high from top of Ashland City.
Aha, you're on the same radio, I take it.
Yeah, I am. We're having a little AC problems here. I'm trying to get us up and going.
Well, try DC. Yeah, well, I think you know how to fix him if he's got. I mean, it's AC problems can be a pain in this kind of weather.
Yeah, it never happens if it's your peak in
for you.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't expect any less. Kevin does a good job. He's got a good signal, and he says he's always nervous about it. That's what I keep hearing, but I think it's fake, man. He knows how to do that. He should be very confident on the ear. All right, very good, Michael. Otherwise, I'll let you get back to work.
All right, buddy. Talk to you later. Kilo 4, wow, we're back to that.
All right, that's Michael, Kilo Mike 4, Yankee Romeo Foxtrot, and he's actually in Ashland City because Rick's his brother, and he's helping him get the air conditioning hopefully fixed before they both croak of sweating to death out there. I don't know, it's going to be hot again tomorrow. I saw on the news. It's a 90-degree day for the next couple of days. Very good. Who else we got, West?
Katie 4OEN. Hello, Paul and the gang. Hope all of you are doing well this week.
Hey, yeah, doing great. Now that I'm back, I'm doing great.
Oh, it sounds like a nightmare. I've thought about maybe wanting to go there a couple of times, but I always change my mind on second thought because I've heard horror stories of getting around. And like you said, the traffic is horrendous. So I think I better stay in Mayberry too.
Well, no, I really do recommend it. Just because it's such a, you actually wonder how that city operates. And it's not that it's a flawless city. It's just this huge mass of traffic and people and buildings and all the stuff that goes on in a city. That's, I don't know, total of 9 million people or something like that. And it's actually a marvel to see that it functions. The subways and the trains and the buses and the cabs and it really is a marvel. I mean, you can't believe it when you're there.
It sounds like it. But Nashville is changing so quickly as well. With I guess it's still the last figure I heard was 100 new people are coming into Nashville every day. Yeah, Marty says that was 3 years ago, so I don't know how many are moving into Nashville nowadays, but the population increasing that quickly, and we still don't have good transportation in place, and it's just getting to be a nightmare here. If you're going anywhere, you pretty much have to give yourself about an hour to get anywhere downtown.
Oh no, I agree, Mary. It's knowing what I know, and I lived in Tampa for 37 years, and I saw it grow just like Nashville's growing now. And I don't think they did it perfectly, but what I can see about Nashville, if anybody in Nashville administration is listening, you've got to get all the surrounding counties to get out together to provide metro area. When I say metro, Davidson and the surrounding counties, traffic problems resolved in that, whether that means light rail, whether that means buses where you have parking lots and all on the outskirts of town, whether that's in the counties, and have buses coming in. But you cannot take that much traffic into the city and hope that it's going to be great.
Absolutely. I don't think there was adequate planning ahead to accommodate all these new people moving in, and it's just growing too quickly, I think. So anyway, I'm glad I don't have to fight it anymore on the way to work and the way back home. Since I worked down in the Gulch, it was getting really crazy down in there. So I'm enjoying sitting here during traffic time.
Oh, I agree now. If I could avoid it, I'd never go to Nashville. Well, unless it was something I really wanted to go to, but not for work purposes and not during the work week. It really does get pretty hectic. All right, very good, Mary. I presume Marty's there as well.
He's here. Thanks, Paul, for all your work on the net, and hope everyone has a great 4th of July. And here over to Marty.
Hello, Marty.
Katie 4BQK.
Yeah, very good. You doing all right, Marty?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Having a good day. And glad that I'm here.
Yeah, very good. Hey, Marty, I thought of an old way to solve the traffic problems downtown. You just pass a law that says no cars within the city limits. Everybody's got to walk to work.
I don't think they want that. But that's not a way to stop it.
Well, they kind of did the opposite of that. They permitted all them scooters downtown, and I think that's just a backwards way of solving a problem.
They are outlawed now. If you're running on the scooters, they give you a ticket.
Oh, is that right? Good. I'm glad. 'Cause those are dangerous, and at least in Nashville, they're dangerous.
Well, I tell you, have a very happy 4th of July.
Oh, yeah, I hope to. Hope I can sit right here and not get involved in any traffic. Well, very good, Marty. That was Marty, Kilo Delta 4, Bravo, Quebec, Kilo, and his wife, Mary, Kilo Delta 4, Oscar, Echo, November, and they're both in Belshire. Great signal, you guys. Good to have you in there. Anybody else, West?
KD8RRO.
Is that ROO? Do I get that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. I'm sorry, but I forgot your first name.
This is Kirby.
Ah, very good, Kirby. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Hope you guys are doing good.
Yeah, we're doing fine. Like I said, we're recovering from a 2,000-mile trip to New York, and I don't want to do that again soon.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, that's a long trip, so it is. I can do at least to West Virginia and back, but after that, it just wears you out.
Hey, do I ever give me your call one more time? I think I wrote it down wrong.
Kilo Delta 8 Romeo Oscar.
Ah, okay, that's where I messed up because I didn't remember your call as having. I thought I heard two O's, and obviously it's not two O's. Very good. Now I was let's put it this way. We get to New York, and my wife thought, well, it's going to be cooler up here. Well, it wasn't. It was 91 degrees there, and it was 90 degrees here, so it wasn't cooler in New York than it was in Nashville.
Yeah, it seemed like it was pretty hot up there, but it's humid here, and that's what drags me down is the humidity here. I'm still not used to it from where I lived in West Virginia, where there's absolutely no humidity.
Oh, is that right? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You have fewer humid days. Yeah, it does get pretty humid here, you're right. But again, I lived in Florida for 37 years, so I was kind of used to humid. I don't like it, but I can live with it. I just get used to it.
Oh yeah, copy that there. Well, I'm sitting outside. I don't know if y'all heard that or not, but I got some people setting off fireworks over my neighborhood.
Very good. And where are you living now, Kirby? I mean, what part of town?
I live right here in Triple Crown subdivision. It's basically right behind here.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, you're. I was just looking at your call up here, and it shows you still being in West Virginia. So I don't think that's where you are tonight.
No, I'm not in West Virginia tonight. I've got to figure out how to change all that.
Well, if you changed it, did you change it in the FCC? Because if it changes in the FCC, QRZ automatically changes it, I believe.
No, I haven't changed it in the FCC, but I need to. I need to change it all and stuff like that. And hopefully it won't be too awful long. And I'm working with Alan on getting me a 2-meter base and a 2-meter base antenna.
Oh, awesome. You'll do fine then. Well, very good. Good to have you in there, Kirby. That's Kilo Delta 8, Romeo Oscar, and he is right behind me about a quarter mile in the Triple Crown, which is just west of me. Well, I can practically throw a stone and hit his area, but I don't have that good an arm. But let's see, I could probably fire a pistol over there. All right, very good, Kirby. Good to have you in there. Anybody else, West? Then moving to the south, please come down. Oh boy, I know you said it twice, and I didn't catch either of it. It was all just broken up. One more time, please.
Whiskey 7 Alpha Bravo Lima.
Hey, how are you? You operate on your handheld again?
Negative. I'm actually trying to transmit from the garage.
Is that more problematic for you?
It must be if you can't hear me.
Well, I can hear you now just fine. I couldn't understand why that would change because you normally, even with your handheld, I can hear you pretty good. No, I think signals are messed up, but you got everything hooked up nice and tightly?
Yes, sir. I want to say thank you for doing this last week. It was pretty nice to have him in there. He did a good job. He was purpose, but he did great.
Dang, it must be. I can't believe how bad some of these signals are. Say that again, please. You said thank me for what?
I wanted to say thank you to Kevin. He did a great job last week.
Oh yeah, great. No, I'm glad he did. I didn't have any doubts about it at all. I knew somebody would pick up the ball and run with it, and Kevin does a nice job. He's got a good signal. And the only problem that some people would have with running the net is being a little anxious about getting the calls and getting the names right, and getting that kind of stuff. And I think most people understand if even when I just can't remember a name or the correct call, it's you just say, okay, say it again because I forgot. You know what I'm saying? But no, very good, Aaron. Anything else for the net?
No, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. It was a pleasure listening.
Ah, very good. I'm glad to hear that. That was Aaron, Whiskey 7 Alpha Bravo Lima, and he's over here near, I think you're near Providence, are you not?
Yes, sir. Just behind the shopping complex.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But just behind the shopping complex there in Providence. Anybody else? Good to have you in there, though, Aaron. Anybody else in, where was I? South, please come in.
KM4 VVA. What's going on, World Traveler?
Hey, hold on. I had a couple other guys in there on top of Dan, but I got Dan in there first. Kilo Mike 4 Victor Alpha. Yeah, World Traveler. Yeah, that's a part of the world I don't want to go to too often.
Well, the last time I was in New York was 1961, and it was fun.
If I was there just walking around, I'd say, yeah, I would have some fun. But it's what's the neat part, the best part about New York City, if there is a best part, it is exciting. It is interesting to some degree. There's see enough people there that it's shocking how many people are on the streets compared to most cities. And the other part is, if you're looking for something special, like if you're looking for a photography store, biggest photography store in the world is in New York City. If you're looking for anything, they got it in New York City. It's unbelievable.
Interesting propagation tonight. I heard Brian and Steve both scratchy, but 80% copy. And Mary, I got the best signal out of her that I've ever had.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's really been weird tonight, and you just confirmed it for me.
Yeah, well, who knows? Could be a combination of fireworks, clouds, weather, and the vortex.
I think it's Russian hackers myself.
It could be. They control the vortex.
Oh, very good. That's Dan. He's also over in Providence, behind Providence. Kilo Mike 4 Victor Alpha. I think I heard Tim in there. Is that you, Tim?
Yes, sir. KR4AC. How you doing?
Like I said, much better now that I'm back in Tennessee.
I could understand that. So you didn't go by and see AOC while you was up there?
No, I went by de Blasio's house and slapped the living hell out of him.
I guess if you had something on your agenda that's worthwhile.
Oh yeah, no, it really was a crazy trip. But you know what's beautiful is if you've never done it, I don't advise that either. It's a long trip, but when you drive up 40, it's a decent trip. And then when you drive up 81 through Pennsylvania, in going north, you're driving through Virginia, then Kentucky, and then Maryland, then Pennsylvania and New Jersey. It is one pretty ride during the day.
Yeah, I bet it is. Yeah, let's see, September 7th, a couple years ago, coming up, man, time flies. We drove all out west and went around got on some of the Route 66, all down through the Grand Canyon, come up, got into the other favorite state, California, or my wife's mom lived there at the time right before she passed away, lived in Fresno. They went up a little bit of the coast highway, ran the herd of one.
Yeah, broken up on the last part of that sentence there after you talked about your mother passing away.
My wife's mother, I said, she lived in Fresno. Then we went on up the coast highway, went through Washington, and come back around. Like I said, it was gone right at a month. Racked up a lot of miles. 6,000 miles or so.
Wow, 6,000 miles is a lot. Well, and with the car, I leased a car for for a week, and it was unlimited mileage, which is the only way to fly.
Yes, sir. As it is. Well, I wanted to get in here and get on the net, say hi to everybody. Paul, and I hadn't been able to. I mean, I tell you what, these storms. I'm hooking up everything and then unhooking. Even tonight, we had rainstorms or showers, but all kind of lightning all around, thunder. So I unhooked again. So I hooked the 2 meter back up. Just I said, man, it's been a couple of weeks or more since I've been in there. Too much lightning going on, storms. So anyway, here's you back in there. The same trip. Cable 4 easy clears.
Yeah, very good, Tim. It was funny. I was watching the meter while you were talking, and while your audio dropped out, the signal strength was still up there modulating, in the mid level, and it's amazing what this atmospheric conditions are doing. It's really kind of, I've never noticed it this weird. It must be due to the storms, I guess. Anyway, good to have you in there, Tim. That was Kilo Romeo 4 Alpha Zulu, and he is in Murfreesboro. Who else we got, Sal?
Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor.
So you got the anti-static antenna, man. You're doing good. How you doing, Larry?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, but I'm hearing a lot of that static tonight, and I must plead guilty. I exercise my right to miss 2 of the nets.
Like I said, we have no rules. If people forget or they can't or they won't, it's strictly up to them. We don't, we don't penalize anybody. It's all in good times and good fun.
Yeah, no. One night was weather. The other night I was out of town. So there you go.
Yeah, very good. Now you got a great signal coming in here in spite of that crazy weather condition.
Yeah, you saw the thing. I'll let you get on with it. KE4 SYV.
Yeah, that was Larry, and he is in Rockvale. That's Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor. Great signal. Oddly, because I say oddly, always has a good signal, but tonight particularly better than all the other signals except for the ones close in. But yeah, it's just interesting how these crazy conditions. Who else, Sal?
KE4Z.
Hey, I think you might have been a double in there, but I'm going to take you in there first. It's Ed, Kilo Delta 4 Zulu Golf Yankee. Your signal's coming in good.
Yeah, I noticed everybody's signal tonight there. It's KD4ZGY. Larry there, he hit me in the over spot on my radio, 9 over there. And Paul, your 2S unit's stronger than you usually are as well. That just shows you y'all been talking about I guess it's the electrical connection in the moisture in there is what's giving y'all all them good signals. But anyway, you're sounding good back down here in Shake Rag tonight. We had a good day. Got out and done a lot of stuff. Even took that midday nap. That's always enjoyable as well. But I'll turn it back to you there. Glad to see you back in a safe trip home there, Paul. We'll catch you another night. KD4ZGY.
Yeah, very good. That was Ed. Kilo Delta 4 Zulu Golf Yankee, and he is down in Shake Rag, just near Shelbyville. Very good signal for a crazy night of up and down here. Who else we got, South?
K496.
Well, I said crazy, and look who showed up. Robin.
Right. 2 check-ins ago, the gentleman asked if breakfast is this Saturday. I think it is. Is that correct?
Do second and fourth, and this is only be the first Saturday.
All right. I don't know if he's still listening or not.
Who is that?
2 check-ins ago. Not counting me.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that was. Was it your neighbor?
No.
2 check-ins ago. Well, am I supposed to remember who did 2 check-ins ago?
I thought you wrote them all down.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I'm not going to look. I'll look later. 2 check-ins ago. Well, anyway, the breakfast is not this Saturday. You can go up there and eat breakfast if you want to, but the breakfast is a week from Saturday.
I have the room all myself.
Oh, say that again. Hold on 1 second, Robin. Who was that other person?
I said, I think it was a check-in you had from Rockvale. It was asked.
Oh, it might have been. Well, I think we got it straightened out, I think. All right. Well, Robin, how you doing? You survived the week, and now you got what, the rest of the week off?
You got
See, there you go. That's the funniest thing. You're a solid. I was looking at the meter on the radio instead of on the screen here, and you were pegging the meter on the screen on the radio, and your audio went to 0.
I'm inclined to believe that your station,
I'm having. What did you say?
station that you said had odd audio. I've been having some of it's been down with noise because I don't have my antenna elevated as high as I usually do, but they've been very consistent. So I think you have a technical difficulty on your end.
Maybe you may be right. Hold on. I don't know. You may be right. I'll have to check it out. Check out all my connections and see what's going on.
How do I sound to you?
Oh, you sound pretty solid, really. When the solid's there. Like I said, it was funny. Your audio was dropped out and the signal's still there, so it was kind of weird.
All right, so there's the limbo. That's as low as I can go. How do you copy now?
No, I still got a good copying.
All right. Well, how long has it been since Joey checked in?
I can look, but he was in either not this last. I wasn't here Saturday, so it was either the previous Wednesday or the previous Saturday.
Okay, so recently.
Yep.
Well, that's good news. I hadn't seen it in a while. I hadn't heard it on the air, so just curious.
Well, he doesn't like hanging around with all these us old guys.
Well, can you blame him? He's 17.
No, I don't blame him at all. I wouldn't either, probably. In fact, I don't like hanging around with us old guys anyway. All right, very good. That was Robin trying to give me some technical assistance on how screwed up my station is tonight. That's Kilo 4 India Delta Charlie, and he's in Hermitage, but he's 6 miles south of me on the west side of Mount Juliet Road. Anybody else south? Please come down.
K4NCN.
So your signal sounds great there, David. How much power are you running?
I'm giving it all I got this evening, and you've got excellent audio here too. No problems on the audio whatsoever.
Maybe I need to check my speaker, man. It's messed up. Yeah, you sound good. The net went well on Tuesday as well, didn't it?
Yeah, I thought it did. Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of back and forth traffic. That's kind of the way it works,
Yeah. I don't know what better way to do it. Do you know any other people that are doing? Do they try to pass traffic that makes any sense to make it, or just obviously just checking, see who can hear who is the ideal way to do it?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if anybody else that's doing it hadn't been listening, Paul. But whenever if you got $200,000 worth of radio equipment at the hospital or EOC, you actually need somebody on the other end to communicate with.
I know it. Hey, I ran into that problem. I used to try to manage 5, I forget how many hospitals it was, 5 or 6 hospitals that had communications equipment in them. And it was worse than pulling teeth to get people into those stations to operate for a routine and net.
Yeah, so just simple traffic passing, it's a start, if you know what I mean. And it kind of weeds out the ones that won't participate much,
Well, it also, like I said, you're hoping that everyone will, over time, improve their stations so they can be better at communications. And since yours is an Aries net, you'd hope it would almost be mandatory as part of Aries,
Well, the more mandatory, the less participants, if you know what I mean.
Oh, no, I do understand that. But, you could just as easily say, since everybody can't participate equally because of bad stations or whatever the reason, let's just do repeater nets and leave it at that. But that doesn't solve the problem either.
Well, repeater nets are good; they got their place. But when all else fails, each individual station throughout the county or throughout the state is what's going to be used.
Oh, I agree, and I know that I'm always pleased to hear when I hear lots of people over the last few years that they'll say that they keep a log, even if they don't have a great location or a great antenna, or a great elevation, they're keeping a log of who they can hear and who they can't. So it gives them a good idea of what their real, their opportunities are in the event of a problem.
Yes, sir, that's for
sure. I know I have quite a bit of one-way communication. You know, some folks can hear me, but I just absolutely cannot hear them. So with the relay station, like CDQ the other night, he was able to pick up that Columbia station, and he was big offended with me, but mostly unreasonable.
Oh yeah, no, I understand. Like you reminded me, I was copying the Columbia station real well the last time he came in, but not Tuesday night.
Yeah. Well, anyway, hey, I welcome you back, sir, to God's country, and appreciate everything you do, Mr. Ball. 7-3. Good evening to everybody on the KI4NDN.
Yeah, that's right. I think God actually withdrew from the Metro New York area.
Long ago.
All right, David. Good to hear you in there, and you got a good signal. See, your signal wasn't bouncing around or losing audio, so I really don't think it's my station. I think my antenna is getting the front end is getting blown out by all the static in the air or something. Anyway, who else? Anybody else? South, please come in.
W8ISG 5 watts.
Hey, you're doing great. I haven't heard from you in a while. You doing okay?
Doing pretty good, Paul. How about you?
Oh, I am doing great. I think you might have heard I was in New York City in the metro area for a few days, and I was just happy to be back here.
No, missed it. Just tuned in. I'm sitting here at the radio desk doing my Wednesday night flight simulator thing, and thought, I wonder who's talking on the radio tonight. I wonder if the Simplex Net is still up. So here you are.
Yeah, no, I accidentally, and I promised myself I'd never do it, but I did, and that was drive, and I accidentally got into Manhattan late on a Friday afternoon, and it wasn't a fun experience.
Yeah, it can be a little hair raising.
Well, yeah, it was just, I can handle, I mean, I drove a lot as working in outside sales and in sales management and project management in a variety of places in Atlanta and, Birmingham and Tampa and Miami and, several big cities, but New York City is a whole different breed of cat.
That it is. That it is, definitely. Well, what was the purpose of the trip?
To bury my mother-in-law up in Long Island. And I didn't plan on going through Manhattan, but through bad decisions on my part, I ended up doing it through if you're familiar with the area, I went through the Lincoln Tunnel and ended up on 42nd Street, which is Broadway. And it was just, I thought that they had a big meeting just for me because it was huge.
Oh, man. Well, my condolences to you and the wife.
Yeah, well, fortunately, I had enough. Well, I called it a pent-up road rage because who am I going to yell at in New York City?
Yeah, nobody hear you anyway. If they did, they wouldn't care. Or they wouldn't even probably recognize that you were yelling.
No, I got a kick because I stopped. Well, to make the story very short, I had to make this turn, and it said no turns, and there's a cop standing right on the corner directing traffic. And I said, I rolled down the window and said, hey, let me make this turn here, please. He says, in broken English, he didn't even speak clear English. He was, I think, a Spanish speaker, but it was just, I thought, no, not again. I had this happen to me before. So I ended up going around the block, but it cracked me up that it wasn't clear to me what he said.
Oh, my. Well, glad you made it back in one piece, and still doing my travel thing. I was out in Raleigh last week and headed to Dallas Fort Worth area on Monday, and not sure what I had after that. Right now, we're trying to hire at the office. We've got our employee that we replaced a year ago. The replacement is now leaving us next month, and so we've been going through interviews. I hate it. We had four applicants in last week, I think, or the week before, and we had 2 today, and we got another one on Friday, and a couple more on Monday, and we had one good one from the first round, and made him an offer, and he accepted it, and then the next day he withdrew his acceptance, had a better offer elsewhere he decided to go with. So back to the drawing board we go.
Yeah, he'll never get hired by your firm, will he?
Guess not. But anyway, that's what's going on in my world, and working on home renovations last few weeks, doing some repainting and some recarpeting and refurnituring, and so everything's kind of in disarray, and eating away at it little by little.
Yeah, well, when you do that kind of business you're in and traveling quite a bit, you do have to eat away at little by little.
Yep, yep. So anyway, well, good to hear you. Glad I made it in with you, and hope you have a great, happy 4th, and we'll catch you next time we catch you. K4PEW from W8IFG in Brentwood.
Yeah, very good. I noticed you changed your image there on QRZ. It looks good. Anyway, that's Adam in Brentwood. You're doing great with that great signal. You were using what, 5 watts?
Yeah, first couple calls were 5 watts. I bumped it up to 50 in case anybody listening might benefit from hearing me. So been 50 watts on the last few transmissions.
All right. Is that the Williams? Is that the excuse me, W4 EAO shack? Is that where that is?
The what now?
The picture. I'm sorry. I'm saying that the repeater name there, but is that the shack there at the Williamson County? Is it at the Williamson County shack?
Where I'm operating now?
No. There was a picture on the QRZ.
Oh, QRZ. No, that was at University of Michigan, their radio club station up in Ann Arbor, Michigan, my alma mater, and I was there over Easter weekend, and I went and I happened to be the Michigan QSO party, and I went and operated at the radio club there for the entirety of the QSO party, and I was working pile-ups pretty much all day and all night. It was a lot of fun and a great honor to represent my school there for the QSO party and the contest. And yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, that's a nice shack too. It's got a nice setup here with lots of room.
Yeah, not a huge room, but three comfortable operating positions, radios, and they had kind of the most interesting thing. Of course, they had I've got a few other pictures, but QSL cards, plastered on the walls from all over the place over the years, and they have up on one side on the shelves up high in the room, they've got old QSTs, basically a QST archive, and they go back to the beginning. The first box, let me find it here so I make sure I quote it correctly. The first box in the set is dated 1922, and they've got pretty much a complete run every year starting from 1922 onward of QSTs. So that was pretty neat. The station was founded in 1913.
Wow, that's awesome. They have to stay. The club I belong to. In fact, I'm still a member up in Buffalo area. It says a similar age. I just don't remember the start. They just had their 100th anniversary, maybe 2 years ago. So it's a little younger, I think, by a couple of years.
Yep. W8UM. They've had several different call signs over the years, but it's the current station call sign, Whiskey 8, University of Michigan. So, yep, that was a fun time. And I know they had big field day operation last weekend, not at the shack, but out at the local airport.
Well, sounds good. You got a great signal there, Adam. Whiskey 8, India, Foxtrot Golf. That's Adam, and he's over in Brentwood. Good to have him in there. I haven't heard from you in a while, and it's good to hear your voice. Anybody else? Where was I? South. That's where I was. Anybody else south? All right, late check-ins. Please come in.
KN4LXH.
Hey, how are you tonight? I'll think of your name in a second. I forgot it. Say it one more time.
Yes, Jimmy. Just north of the high school here.
I swear I just had a little brain freeze as I was writing your call. And I knew who it was. I couldn't think of your first name.
Yeah, well, I heard you mention the fact that you had driven through New York City on the way to Long Island, but back in the 70s when I was married, many eons ago, my wife and I were going to see my brother in Massachusetts, and we went through New York, of course, and she said, well, let's go through New York City. I've never seen it. I want to see it. So
off we went across the GW Bridge into Manhattan, got down into the financial district, and I don't know what street it was, but it was like 5 minutes till 12, and I thought, this traffic's not so bad at all. There's not all that many people around, and traffic's not that bad. But then about 12 noon, it seems like every person in the New York City area must have left their building, and either got into a cab or started walking down the sidewalk to go get to their favorite restaurant, because it's just like a zoo of people.
Oh, but yeah, it's a madhouse there. It really is. What year was that?
I believe it was 78.
Yeah, it was like that when I got there at 4 o'clock on this past Friday afternoon. It wasn't a pleasant sight, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, anyway, how's it going with you? I missed you last week.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, it's going all right. I'm still recovering, I think, from the trip after that 2,000 miles and the craziness in the metro area there. But no, I think I'm back to half speed. I'll say that, because I was at full speed there for a few days.
Oh yeah, did you go to field day at all or anything like that?
No field day. I don't know. I just didn't have the inclination to do that after losing two mothers here within 8 days of each other.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Well, I didn't go either, so I don't have a really good excuse either. At least I don't have a good excuse.
Well, it's a good excuse I use, but I don't know. Well, very good, Jimmy. I want to see who else is in here before we close this out here. That was Kilo November 4 Lima X-Ray Hotel, and that's Jimmy, and he is in kind of the northeast section of Mount Juliet, just north of the high school. Sorry about not remembering your name, but I'm getting tired here today. All right, anybody else? Late check-ins, please come in.
Kilo India 4, Sierra India Bravo.
And 4 CCQ.
Hey, well, hold on, Richard, you're in there first, and I know I got Preston in there mobile, so it's good to have him in there. I'll be right back to you, Richard. Hey, where are you mobile there, Preston?
Oh, not mobile, and I'm out here at the QTH trying to get my fire going, dodging lightning bolts. Seems to be lightning pretty good back your way.
Oh, we got I can hear a lot of it. I don't see any of it. I got my shades closed, but yeah, it's been pretty noisy here this evening anyway. Are you doing all right? I thought I heard you say mobile. Maybe that was somebody else.
No, that was me. I'm in the mobile sitting out here just pouring my charcoals in the grill and threw some hickory on top of it, just waiting on it to fire up a little bit, and throw a couple of butts on there and let them cook overnight. Copy.
Cool. What are you cooking?
So pork butt.
Oh, how big would you cook overnight like that? It must be more than a couple of pounds.
I'm not really sure. It's either 6 or 8 pounds, somewhere in the neighborhood.
Oh boy, I'll be over in the morning. How's that?
I copy that. It should be ready around 10 or 11, I'm guessing, because it's have a pretty low temperature throughout the night, and I'll probably stoke it back up in the morning.
Yeah, I got you. Sounds good. I love pork, man. That's unbelievable how good pork can be when it's cooked like that.
Roger. Well, I won't hold you up. I just want to jump in there real quick and say hello on 73s to anybody out there that can hear me in my small radio out here. Hope you're doing well, and say good evening to you, sir. KN4CCQ.
Yeah, very good. That was Preston. He's in Possum Trot, and that's Kilo November 4 Charlie Quebec. He's in the mobile, but he's sitting in his car, working on his grill, cooking up some pork butts, 5 or 6 pounds a piece for tomorrow's festivities for July the 4th. Richard, I hear you in there.
Yeah, I'm somewhere with the rainbow. What's going on?
Well, I don't know. I was hoping you'd know.
Well, I can tell you where to get some of the best barbecue ever made tomorrow morning.
Where would that be?
The Masonic Lodge off of Lebanon Road on Tate's Lane. They're down there cooking it right now, and they'll be there all night putting it together and cooking it and all that, and they'll start selling it first thing in the morning, about 6 or 7.
Cool. How far back is it on Tate's Lane? You're talking about north of where the heck is it? I forget where that is. Tate's Lane off of West Division. Is that where that is?
Well, it is off West Division, but you don't want to go in from that direction. A simpler way is to go away out to Lebanon Road and go toward Hermitage on Lebanon Road. And when you get to North Green Hill, the road Tate's Lane turns off to the left across the road from North Green Hill, and the lodge is back there about a quarter mile.
Oh, yes. I've seen a sign there. I've just never been back there.
Well, they'll be selling barbecue down there first thing in the morning, and it will be some of the best you ever ate, I promise. They've been doing that down at the lodge has been doing it for, oh my gosh, 45 years now.
Well, if they're not doing it right, they need to be kicked out of Tennessee by this time.
Well, I promise you they're doing it right. You'll be very pleased if you go down there and get some.
I may just do that. I may very well do that. Well, very good, Richard. Everything else going all right?
Yeah, the reason I wasn't here when you hollered east was because I was in the middle of a meeting and all that kind of thing. But I had it in my head that this Saturday was breakfast, but it's not. I've been tinkering with my 3-element Jackie up here today. I kind of put it on top of a 30-foot push-up that I can only extend to 24 feet because of tree limbs. But I'm on the vertical at the moment and trying to get the Yagi squared away and figure out what makes it tick and all that kind of thing. But we just hope we're having fun and fiddling with this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, it's always something, isn't it? But anyway, that was Richard, Kilo India 4 Sierra India Bravo, and he's over in just west of downtown Lebanon, a mile and a half, 2 miles maybe. But he is just telling us of the Masonic Lodge there on Lebanon Road over by Tate's Lane. You probably know where it is. I know where it is, never been back there, but they're selling barbecue tomorrow morning after, and they've got a long history of doing that. Sounds great to me. I'm already ready to go drive over there. Anybody else, please come now.
Whiskey Delta 4 Bravo, Whiskey Charlie.
Hey, Jeff, good to have you in there. You're coming in pretty good, working on that little station.
That's what I needed to do for now.
That's right. You doing all right?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing good. The net went pretty well last night, I think.
It went great. You did a great job, Kevin.
No, I'm at the net. No, yeah, for the web. Kevin, I heard he did a good job. I was talking about the your net there on Tuesday night.
And that's coming along too.
Yeah, good. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, it's kind of important, I think, to be promoting the nets that are of usefulness in our area. They're going to help out in the long run.
That's true. Hey, all the nets help.
Oh, I think so. Well, very good. You got anything else for the net besides wet weather?
Nothing for the net.
All right. Very good. That was Jeff, Whiskey Delta 4 Bravo, Whiskey Charlie. And he usually runs the net, which is the W4 EAO net on Tuesday nights. And it starts out on the Watertown repeater, which is 146, 485, I believe. And that's at 8:30 on Tuesday night. So don't forget to miss that. No, don't forget to not miss it is the right way to say it. You guys, very good. Good to have you in there, Jeff. Anybody else? Late check-ins?
Recheck.
What? What do you want, Richard?
146, 835 with a tone of 100.
Did I say what? Didn't you say 835, did I?
No.
Yeah, 146, 835. It's the Watertown repeater in case W4 LY. What the heck is it? W4L. Hey, hit me with that too.
W4LY, I believe, is tone 100.
Yeah, it's tone 100. Anyway, it's a great repeater too.
Oh, it's got a great footprint. I can stand out here on my handle and bang it all day long.
There you go. Well, very good. Appreciate the correction on that. It was 835. I don't know how I forget that. I've used it several times. 146.835, tone 100 or PL 100, whichever you prefer. Anybody else? Late checking. Lollygaggers, sandbaggers, lurkers, and SDR donglers, scanner listeners, what else? Preppers and end time survivalists are next.
W9BOQ. Oh my God, you aren't going to believe this.
I'll believe it. You showed up.
I've been here the whole time. And I try to check in when you're on north. I try to check in when you're on west because I wanted to shut down early to tear my shack apart to put in a new desk. And now I just realized that my radio wasn't set to Simplex. It was set to minus offset. So I'm an idiot.
Hey, listen, If I told you the dumb things I did, we'd both be in that idiot booth, you know?
Funny though, I mean, I thought when you were talking about bad propagation, I was like, man, he's not hearing me at all.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I know. I've done sillier things, believe me. Transmitting into nothing is another practice that's fun.
So yeah, everybody's signal was good to me. But anyway, I got a new desk, and I've got an old kitchen table in my shack now, which is going to be in the burn pile in a minute. And then I got a little new desk I'm gonna put in here. So I'm gonna shut down, and I'll probably be set back up in 10 minutes at least for 2 meters. So I'll come back and see if you're still around. Thank you, Paul. WNIBOQ.
Yeah, very good. I'm glad you got the problem squared away. It sounds funny to say that, but great station. Just had it offset in on the Simplex. That was Whiskey 9, Bravo, Oscar, Quebec, and that's Dennis. He's in Castellian Springs. Any other late check-ins, please come in.
Comment.
Yeah, go ahead, Richard.
The best one in the world, though, is to be screaming your lungs out, knowing somebody's talking, and you don't have the volume turned up. KIFOSID.
Hey, I've only done that a couple dozen times.
Myself, that's the reason I brought it up. I'm as guilty as sin.
Yeah, I think everybody's done that. Everybody. It's kind of funny to not have the volume turned up and you can. What the heck? Nobody can hear me. What's going on?
Yeah, and when you realize what you've done, you feel like the biggest idiot this side of the Mississippi River.
Yeah, well, my other favorite is on the dual band is transmitting onto the wrong side.
Guilty.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of guilty people running around. So one of the guys, N2NUT, he did it on the what do you call it? The whole, the weekly Tennessee net, on the 70 centimeter.
Yeah, bless his heart.
He did. He went back on and apologized. Oh, I can't believe I did that. And I heard him do it too. It was hilarious.
Oh gosh, some of the stunts we pulled and some of the stuff and there's other things I'm sure that are worse that nobody wants to admit to.
Oh yeah, I know. But since we give out our calls, usually they know who it is.
Yeah, that's the kicker. You can't hide.
All right, very good, Richard. Yeah, so we ought to make a list of all the stupid things that hams do by mistake. Anyway, any other late check-ins or procrastinators got to come in after midnight or something? Well, we had a whopping 29 check-ins, and there were still a few regulars missing, so we really had a big night. I didn't expect it on a holiday week, but here we are. Anyway, there was 29, and that was July the 3rd. Again, I want to thank Kevin for doing the net this past Saturday. Everybody tells me he did a great job, so they must have done a great job. It was good to have everybody on the net. Good to hear from you. And closing down the net for now. Don't forget Saturday's net and for the buy, sell, swap, and swindle net to boot. So we'll catch you later. K4PW. Having a good night, everybody. Oh, where's that camera? Can't see it.